Hello, I am Thaden, and welcome back to Hell Is Us. Today we are back in Marastan, where we are going to be trying to relatively finish up this area. There might be a few things here and there that we won't be able to get to quite yet, per usual. More than anything else, I am looking forward to seeing what is inside the massive crypt wall thing where we need to find pieces to. So I'm going to stop talking and let's just get into it. We have got to put an end to this intercom. That is main goal energy for this episode. So yeah, we're headed into the Blood Queen Observatory.
You are second-class citizens, faithless heathens, worthless scum.
So annoying. All right, let's get into it. I think it's this key. Yeah.
Marastan is a stain on the glory of
Thought I blocked that, but apparently I did not. Lost a little bit of health there. Look from the other side. Gotcha. Let's turn our light on. What's this way? Block from the other side. I'm catching on. Got him. Apparently this rock was important enough for them to chain off. That's my problem. Okay, yeah, I came from here. Gotcha. Okay, so we can go that way or straight. Got a first aid kit. Limbic rod to the doorway of the dark forest of the south. Maybe inside the tower there's a doorway. Children's book, a frayed tome that contains colorful illustrations. Yeah, the limbic entities and naked people. Why is this a children's book?
Nothing at all. Ugh. I feel like I'm wasting my time here. How can such a prominent figure be completely absent from all records? There are massive statues of her everywhere. Does no one ask any questions? Do they just swallow the propaganda? There has to be a deeper story here. What's more, I've had to suffer this wretched lot for months. I'll be glad to leave them to their misery. Misery that they brought upon themselves. I've had it with this place. I hate to do this to Lucan again, but it's best to move away soon. Before he makes friends with any sabs.
We met this guy in Telju, something like that. And we met Lucan as well. Interesting. So we can drop down there. But let's before we drop anywhere, let's go around here. My gosh. Longest ladder ever. Oh my gosh. Are we inside the... Holy crap. Okay, let's read this first. Through the gaze of the screaming monarch, behold the location of her eternal rest. Which I feel like we already found, but... Buried amongst the eagles lies the means to reach the queen. When eastward face the six, okay, its secrets you will glean. So they all need to face the east. Gotcha. Cool. Okay, let's look through here. Yeah. We've been there. A couple episodes ago. But we needed something. Some sort of key or something or another. Which I'm assuming is going to be in the cemetery. Where we do the eagle puzzle. Alright, let's go this way now. Ahaha. I wish that happened more often. That you could do those intense finishers. Yeah, you're not gonna surprise me. Cool. Where are we going? Hey! It's one of the doors. Ow, ow, I have a weird itch. Okay. Got it. Still need to open this door, though. I need to go back this way so that we can finally turn off the antenna. Ha ha ha. Success. Nice. Do they have anything to say about it?
Who in the hell screwed with the tower?
I don't know. Sure wasn't me.
See our beautiful lady when hurt somehow.
Okay, we need to go back to the church cemetery, the church cemetery. It's so quiet and peaceful. I love it. So they all need to face that way. Eh. Okay. I think that one's right. Two, three. This one's not right. This one's not right. Ooh, it's a secret passage. Okay. That was mildly terrifying. Okay. Before we go down there, I'm going to take a slight detour because there were a number of people that were complaining about the, rightfully so, complaining about the intercom. So, I want to see if they have anything to say. Was it you? Are you Batron?
First they take my wife,
No.
then some fucking... What else could possibly go wrong? I knew moving to Marastan was a bad idea. Fucking heartless, palamist asshole.
Okay.
Thank you
Aha!
for stopping the broadcast,
Haha.
but I'm afraid it'll only antagonize them further. I shudder to think of what they'll come up with next.
Uh-huh.
Daddy said that if I'm nice, then my hands will grow back. I think he's lying. I
Yeah.
wish Mommy was here.
Yeah. Okay. So that's pretty much what I wanted to do. Okay. Let's head down. Got it. Okay, so we have 3 paths. This one looks like it's blocked off. Yup. Holy bones. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Oh, I hear a guardian. Ooh! New investigation item. Tablet fragment square. Small piece of a fractured stone tablet. Patterns are engraved on its surface. Okay. Interesting. Wonder where we're gonna use that. I don't actively remember. They're noisy. Okay, so we gotta find that key. Ooh. Any more jump scares? Oblique. Okay, so we're obviously going to be putting together a larger tablet. This is the center room? Yeah. Let's continue on. Okay. Ooh! I think this might be the chest that's in the ruins that we explored in the last video. Possibly. I think it was a green one that we needed. So we'll have to go back there when we're done. Aha. Aha. Another tablet. So I'm wondering if these go to where the crypt is, where she rests, the queen, that we needed, because it looked like there were 3 slots, and it looks like this will open it up, question mark. We also need the key so that we can get to the that what I'm assuming is the last guardian. Might not be the last guardian, but yeah. So let's go back to the place in the woods. Yeah. Okay, this one looks like a pickaxe. Okay. Horn. Weird symbol. Okay. Oh, a leaf, like a branch, right? And the eye. Jeez. One was pretty straightforward. All right, let's go in. Holy crap. Wow. Made real good use of the spiky floor thing. Avid pupil, our future queen learns not only the ways of the Palamist faith, but also the art of war and strategy. Queen Harvor Ravetta, destined to become the protector of Palam and defender of the traditions. Our queen, pious and virtuous, rules over Hadia with grace and wisdom. For the love of his queen, King Garland converts to a Palamist faith. Queen Harvor Ravetta looks to the east and prepares for war to protect Holy Palam legacy. Utterly victorious over her enemies, our beloved queen enacts plans to purify Hadia from the heretic filth. The tower. Everything's leading to the tower. Okay, so swords crossed, crown, eye, and tower. No? Ah. Different crown. The sword? Ooh. Sword of the Blood Queen. A well-preserved sword still gleaming despite its obvious age. The ornate golden hilt features an inlaid jewel. Ooh, okay. Here rests Harvor Ravetta, the unyielding divinity, keeper of purity, archon of vengeance, and protector of the righteous. I love how all royalty just love all of their titles. Let her wisdom echo through eternity. Long may her manifold deeds inspire us to greatness. None greater than the Acasa Spire, the pinnacle of righteousness and pride of our nation. Amidst the wildwood of Senendra, the grand tower looms. Only our beloved queen could envision so profound an undertaking. Only our beloved queen could shepherd its foundation. And only our beloved queen could realize its full potential. The spire shall remain forever open to Our Lady Ravetta and her instrument of vengeance, her here interred. So the sword is the key to the tower. Holy crap. So we still need a key for here. Crypt word, we did that. Did that. Still have a third fuse. I'm not sure where to get that. And there's also a locked door that is closed from the, or locked, opens from the other side. Let's see if we can't make our way back to the ruins. Yeah, what's with this door? Doesn't really seem like we can get in there from a different direction, unless there's a basement, maybe? A cellar door or something? He's still here. Maybe when we come back, it'll be open. Like that's his house, maybe? Possibly. Another theta. Awesome. We can finally close the one in the Abbey in the Acasa Marshes. And freaking tastic. I think we've done everything we can here for the time being. So I think we make our rounds around the countryside, starting off with Jova for the Acasa Marshes. I do want to read the research items we've got, though. See if they give us any more lore.
When you have a second, I have more information on the Arca Spire.
Oh, yes, please.
Let me know if you want more information on anything you find out there.
Where did you find
The Spire, please.
I ran the Arca Spire into the database. There is no mention of why the tower was built. However, I did come across something else. Epsilon, an OMSIF division, had several objectives in southern Umbrahan. One of them was to find a way into the Arca Spire. They were ordered to investigate some ruins in Sinedra Forest, near the Arca Spire. Their unit, Epsilon 11, was never heard from again. Now I know where you got the APC.
Yeah.
They believed the underground ruins would lead into the Arca Spire.
They
were
don't.
wrong. Let's go to Sinedra Forest and find out where the actual entrance to the tower is located.
Well, I already found that. I just needed the key, which is the sword. Uh-huh.
Let me know if you need more information on.
See what these have to say. Children's book.
Interesting. I'll look it up.
This'll should allow us to get a vault of knowledge. Okay, Harvor Ravetta's storybook. An inscription along the spine identifies this book as belonging to Harvor Ravetta, a gift from her uncle and guardian, Thomas Ravetta. In her childhood, Harvor would spend much time at her uncle's manor in present-day Marastan. The manor that is in ruins now, possibly? The book contains several short stories, allegories, and characterized illustrations aimed at young children. Throughout the pages contain a scornful tone of derision towards Sabinian people, often mocking or demonizing them as sinful evildoers, or even drawing comparisons to insects. Ew, that's awful. A prime example of the indoctrination to which Harvor was exposed from a young age and would ultimately shape her ideology as queen.
Hey, Jeljin has a vault of forbidden knowledge.
Yes, it does. Nice. Sweet. Cool.
Good find. I'll look it up.
Operation Appleseed Candidate File. This file contains sensitive information on Operation Appleseed, the codename given to the now infamous Marstan Market bombing. The file includes a complete psychological analysis of the candidate chosen to carry out the bombing, Byron Velba. It details the recruitment and subsequent psychological It details the recruitment and subsequent psychological manipulation of the civilian who was specifically targeted due to his participation in the Yvel riots of March 1990. The file proves conclusively that the bombing was not the random act of a polemist extremist, but a Black Ops division and orchestrated by the Oistus division of the Axiom. It has carefully planned and executed to heighten ethnic tensions. Yeah.
Let's see what the Zeal server has to say about this.
Limbic core. Amine inversion cast. To correct the disastrous outcome of their ill-fated Eminus Shroud experiment, scholars of the Order of the Eye scrambled to find a way to cancel out the eye's expanded field of influence. Although the inner mechanics of limbic architecture were beyond the scholars' comprehension at the time, they still made remarkable strides in their research. Purely through keen intuition, they understood that limbic frequencies could be inverted to disrupt limbic fields. They eventually stumbled upon a particular arrangement of limbic materials that showed great results on a small scale. They called the construct the amine inversion cast. They erected massive rectangular pillars at various distances surrounding Mount Obek. These flutes of restitution would hold the cast at specific angles to dampen the eye's field. It didn't work. Despite its failure, the amine inversion project was not discarded. The devices were soon repurposed and became the progenitors of the amine prism. The gigantic pillars can still be seen throughout the countryside, ominous reminders of the failings of the past. That's really interesting. Wonder if we'll be able to see them or if we've already seen them and I just didn't realize what they were. Rusted Gauntlet.
Nice. I'll have a look in the database.
This gauntlet belonged to Cecil Bannon, 7th Talon of the God Hand. The God Hand were the 10 Knights commanders of the Inquisition of Pelon. Individually, they were known as Talons. All were present at the Butchery of the Fallen in 871 AD, when the Inquisition brought its full force to bear against Francis Aldrich and his servants of Tyr. Bannon's squire at the time was a young Thomas Rivetta, future uncle and mentor to Harvor Rivetta, who would eventually come to rule Hadia as the dreaded Blood Queen. Huh. Interesting. Fascinating. Okay, so let's stop at Acasa Marshes. Gosh, there's such hesitation there. Hey, we leveled up. Go us. Okay, let's shut this once and for all. Finally get that item, whatever it is.
TR! Look upon us! As your will be done!
Sweetness. Nice. Oh, yes. We need this for the cemetery here. Sweet. Terracotta oil lamp. Looks like a maze. Cool. Okay, so now we can head head to the cemetery in Jova. Scroll Eulogy, an ancient, partially decayed scroll inscribed with what appears to be the eulogy for the heroic savior of Jova, found within a tomb. He who shall remain nameless, the hand of Setherus, vanquisher of evil and protector of Jova. The year of the calamity, 772, the fingers of death had all but enveloped Jova. When all seemed lost, a champion rises to deliver us from catastrophe. Single-handedly, he lays low the demon horde, as if possessed by Setherus himself. Blessed by these lands of golden clover, safe now and forever, may the spirit of our guardian watch over us, an unwavering bulwark against the darkness. The principality of Jova lies in your debt forevermore. Brave knight, may you rest in eternal glory, bathed in his gaze. New passive relic. Revel in victory over your foes, restoring health and limbic energy. Okay. See if that's any better than my current one. Grow bolder in your victories, increase damage dealt for each enemy vanquished. I actually think I do like this one. Revel in victory over your foe, restoring health and limbic energy. I do like the damage though. After killing one, like I can almost instantly kill the others fairly quickly. I want to say that's all we can do in Jova for the current moment. The library. Ooh, maybe we go there and try. What was the latest one? Yeah, A-3. So could it be, let's see, if it's alphabetic order, that's easy. If it's an anagram, I'm really bad at anagrams. So that might be a problem. But let's head to the library, I guess. So I really would like to find out what information is on this computer that we've been hearing about since the beginning. I vaguely think I remember. Oh, it's just a reflection there. Okay. Ooh. Oh. Yeah, it's either Lucan, his birthday or his ID number. Okay. So his birthday is 1982. 1405. I'm guessing the ID number is the serial number. 81643. That might make sense. Eight, 1-6-4-3. Haha! Another row. Wow. Whoa, that's terrifying. Wooden mask featuring carved vestige with a jubilant expression. A note explaining the provenance of a wooden mask. I can't believe my luck. An original carnival mask. Last night, Julio and his wonderful wife, Marlene, invited me to a nice home-cooked meal at their home on the outskirts of town. They had found out through the school that I was working on a bit of research about the Week of Peace. I guess they were interested in contributing their stories. They talked my ear off all night with tales from their childhood. Then Yelio told me to hold on while he fetched something upstairs. He came back holding a wooden mask, and I recognized it instantly. He explained it was an old family heirloom passed down for generations. He was ready to give it to me for my research, bless his heart. He was aglow at the idea of the mask serving an academic purpose. I told him I would never accept such a priceless item, that this was a piece of Hadean history. He and Marlene insisted quite persuasively. Eventually, I accepted. Yankel. The president's name. How do you spell that? I can't remember if it's Yankel, like E-L or L-E. But we'll try both. 7, 3, 1, 5. No. Okay. 7, 3, 1, 5, 6, 9. Okay. 7, 3, 1, 5, 9, 6. Ha ha ha! Okay, so it's Yankel spelled Yankel, which equals 7, 3, 1, 5, 9, 6. Cool. So the grand conspiracy. Fellow truth seekers, if you have made it this far, then you must be as interested in the absolute truth as I am. I will outline my findings here for you to judge for yourself. I have a feeling many of you already know all of this to be true intuitively. There is something not quite right in this country. We've all felt it. You think? Let me come right out and say it. I have found conclusive evidence that we are being experimented on by travelers from another world for their own nefarious purposes. Yes, aliens are among us, hiding in plain sight. They have taken control of Hadia, and the globalists are covering it up. Okay. I mean, sure. What lies below. I was a teenager in the early 50s, but I can still remember the sudden flurry of activity around Mount Obek. Barricades going up overnight, armed men dressed in black, standing guard around the mountain. What were they hiding? I believe the alien craft landed here in Hadia around that time. The craft burrowed under Mount Obek, and it's been there ever since. It was just before Girion Yankel seized power in 52. Coincidence? Why Mount Obek? Because it stands on an incredible power magnetic locus. If you look at the old historical maps, you can see multiple ancient ley lines converging on Mount Obek. Follow the landmarks. Everything is publicly accessible here at the library. See for yourselves. The ancient Hadeans were highly attuned to these kinds of things. That's why they even founded our major cities on the ley lines. Just look at the provincial capitals of Trisk, Luslis line intersecting the Golmor-Lovlina line right at the foot of Mount Obek. The aliens would undoubtedly have been attracted by it. Then in the 60s, they faked the moon landing to try and cover up the warped trail left when the ship arrived. With the whole world looking up into space, they needed to distract so we wouldn't question the trails. Infiltration. Let's start with Garyon Yankel. Why would the most powerful man in Hydia suddenly off himself in 82? He had consolidated all the power. Think about it. Where is the gun he supposedly shot with himself? It only makes sense when you realize that he was nothing but a puppet, placed there to keep us in line. Something changed in the 50s. The big players suddenly took an interest in little old Hydia. International agencies, multinational corporations, research firms. Even today, 40 years later, I still see the black-clad agents skulking around. Surely you've seen them too. Why are they still here? Who are they? Why would they come here, you ask? Good question. Power. Power and money. Big pharma. Weapons manufacturing, energy research, media conglomerates, child trafficking, all of it. They're here among us, pulling the strings for their extraterrestrial masters. I don't know what kind of wicked bargain they made, but they sold us out. I suspected for a long time that they're putting something in the water to rile us up. I would advise everyone to stop drinking it immediately. I haven't drunk from the public water system in decades, and I can finally see clearly. They need us divided, fighting each other so we can't see what they're doing. Now we have the ON sniffing about. More globalists looking to dig their claws into this country. Modern Hydia is just a giant experiment and we are the subjects. Wake up. Now most of that I don't believe, but the last little bit about the country like being an experiment, and that kind of, that I've kind of theorized for a while now that Hydia is not all that it seems to be. But yeah, I given what we do know about the time loops and the cataclysms, I doubt that it's actually aliens. I don't know that I would really like that whole theory, but entirely possible, and they are very alien-like, I guess. They just feed on emotions, I suppose, if that's the case. Again, the moon landing, though, I don't know that that's the right conspiracy to look at, but still, kind of interesting. I was hopeful for more concrete revelations. Okay, so we did get another research item. I want to go back to Tanya and see what that has to say before we move on.
Nice find. Let's run it through the database.
Okay, Light of Setherus. Terracotta oil lamp. Terracotta oil lamps like this played an important part in the religious rites of early Setherism. Hasslan youths would be given this lamp along with a supply of food and water, and were expected to navigate the labyrinthian passages beneath Mount Obek alone. A sort of pilgrimage or rite of passage that retraced the steps of the holy Saint Palam. If the youth found their way to the eye of God, they were considered to be under the guiding gaze of Setherus, and could rejoin society as a consecrated acolyte. The lamp not only provided illumination, but was also considered to hold a piece of the golden star Sirius, Setherus's final resting place, to ward against the evils of Tier, the serpent god.
I'm done writing my piece on the Hasselins, the ancient Hadians.
And we have one of her manuscripts. Okay, buckle up. This is going to be a long one, I have a feeling. Some would have believed a great mystery is about the setting, atmosphere, suspense, red herrings, and the lot. Granted, they have their place, but I think it's much simpler than all of that. A great mystery must have simple questions beating at its heart. Who, where, when, and more importantly, why? When my partner brought back fascinating Hysilian artifacts, it immediately caused me to ask these simple questions. Who were they, and could their history parallel modern Hadia somehow? History tends to repeat itself. There are certainly some lessons the first Hadeans can whisper to us through the ages. The more I delve into Hysilian's history, the more I felt it was a story worth telling. A large group of hunter-gatherers crossed into the undisturbed valley known today as Hadia. They adopted a sedentary lifestyle and developed a new belief system that would send them on a path of never-ending conflict. Suffice to say, I was hooked. The Great Crossing. A large and brave group of hunter-gatherers known as the Hysilians crossed the treacherous peaks that surrounded Hadia. The date of their arrival is largely debated amongst Hadean scholars. Some stand firm at 9000 BC, while others suggest a much earlier date, around 11700 BC. Recent discoveries in the mountains of northern Hadia support the latter date. Why would a large group of hunter-gatherers risk a perilous journey through some of Earth's most dangerous mountain ranges? I should know. I made the journey across, but with modern equipment and an expert guide. The Hysilians faced winds that could attain 160 miles per hour, sub-zero temperatures, and thin air. Some experts say it was due to a famine, while others suggest the Hysilians were escaping a natural disaster of epic proportions. Younger Dryas impact theory. Whatever the reason, the risk paid off. The Hysilians arrived in the untapped valley. They gazed upon rolling green hills, lush forests, fertile black earth, prairies, rivers, and lakes teeming with game and fish. The Hysilians had found paradise on earth. New traditions. The 8 tribes of Hysilians settled the region and abandoned their roaming, hunting, and foraging traditions around 7000 BC. Harvesting the wild forms of cereal and domesticating the herds paved the way for agriculture. Permanent villages were formed, and a new sedentary society was born. Through this significant transformation, one tradition remained intact: shamanism. Shamans were highly respected and regarded as individuals who could interact with the spirit world through altered states of consciousness. They had the power to heal the sick, communicate with spirits, and escort souls to the afterlife. Essentially, it was a belief system centered on supernatural phenomena. Early Hysilian society relied on the shaman to guide their newfound way of life. However, a mysterious shift in tradition swept across the Hadia Valley, suddenly leaving behind the shamanistic tradition. What caused the 8 Hysilian tribes to adopt a monolithic belief system? Legend of the Eye of God. This mysterious and abrupt change in shamanism to the monolithic belief system remains a mystery. What caused this sudden change from a deeply rooted tradition to a new faith? This new mythical narrative is complex. The benevolent god Setherus created humanity and all earthly creatures. He was the first into being, the uncreated, the divine, and the light. With him, another came to be, the great 2-headed serpent Tyr. Jealous of Setherus' creation, the great serpent threatened to destroy all humankind. A great battle ensued, and Setharus defeated Tier. Before dying, Tier sent out a mighty shriek, cursing humanity with overwhelming emotions and intoxicating passions, turning all of Setharus' children into impulsive, irrational, and cruel creatures. In desperation, Setharus ripped out his left eye and with it created a haven for his children. It was to be a place where humanity could come and find refuge and protection from the curse of Tier. Humanity could always come to the eye of God and cleanse themselves of all sinful emotions. Setharus, weakened by the battle and his sacrifice, sought refuge in the heavens, creating the bright star Sirius. Setharus promised to return someday and free humanity from the evil serpent's curse. Was all this real, or was it just a myth, a metaphor, a symbol that the Hadeans could hold onto in dire times? It is a symbol of help quell passions and emotions so Hadean can control themselves before the rage, terror, ecstasy, and grief corrupt all. Like most religions, Setharism, no matter how good the messaging is, ultimately falls prey to the same corruption: power. The rise of theocracy and polymism. Real or not, the Eye of God sent shockwaves through the entire Hadean Valley. At first, the story of a benevolent god, Setharus, was passed on from generation to generation through oral tradition, a custom kept from shamanism. Nearly 1,000 years passed, during which a writing system evolved from primitive pictograms and runes to an official alphabet. With the advent of a written alphabet, several holy passages and interpretations of this new narrative were etched on clay tablets and later inked on parchments. During this period, around 2200 BC, there was a schism between the 8 tribes of Hicilians. Different interpretations and traditions began with each tribe, none more so than the 8th tribe, which outright refused Setharism and opted to worship Tier, and their footprint can still be seen to this day in the Visa Hills in the form of a grand serpent mound. To avoid such rifts between the remaining tribes, priests of each tribe assembled to amalgamate all conclave, all holy interpretations into one sacred book. This group of priests was known as the Illigad Conclave, named after the valley where this meeting occurred. The Illigad Conclave focused the new tenets of sacred writings around the ancient figure, a man mentioned under the simple name as Palam. The ancient scriptures described him as the courageous young man who first discovered the Eye of God. The conclave canonized him as a saint. His holy image rapidly became the center of their new dogma, and the creed became officially known as Palamism. After many years, the Illigad Conclave created a unifying holy book, the Holy Kedah. The theocracy was born as the Conclave proclaimed themselves the rulers of Hadia. According to the new Holy Kedah, Setharus and his earthly saint Palam recognized these individuals as the official rules by divine right. The theocracy lasted thousands of years. As their power grew, so did the people's oppression, burdened by cruel acts and unjust social restraints, until a young erudite dared to pen a thesis: Reform and the Holy Wars. It all began in 400 AD with a written thesis reacting to the abuses and indulgences of the Palamist Church. It merely demanded the separation of church and state. The work sparked a comprehensive and durable Reformation movement despite very few copies. This new wave of change grabbed the attention of influential individuals, which only solidified the trend. Reformed churches spread throughout the land, and the new religious domination was eventually called Sabbanism, after the thesis author Sabin Gao. Unbeknownst to the Sabinian reformists, the Illigad Conclave had secretly mobilized a holy army and sent it into reformist territories, massacring the innocent and burning every town and city. Upon hearing the news, a beloved Sabinian nobleman, Conde Colig, raised the first ever Sabinian reformist army. The two armies finally met in the Weisse Hills. Outnumbered 5-1, Conde Colig proved a cunning strategist and inflicted heavy losses on the Holy Army, winning the 3-day battle. The joy in victory was short-lived, and Conde famously said after the fight, "The choice between war and peace does not exist. Truth be told, it's a choice between war and endless war, and I'm afraid we have chosen the latter." Conde Colig couldn't have been more right. On a scale never before seen, cruelty and wickedness deeply scarred the population of both sides of the conflict. Extreme acts of brutality and savagery were commonplace. The Palamist traditionalists and Sabinian reformists were trapped in a never-ending cycle of destruction. The war raged across the land for 200 years with little repose. Several attempts at peace failed or were very short-lived. Deeply rooted hatred and the thirst for shedding the other side's blood seemed inconsolable. Sadly, the Holy War was only the beginning. It was lengthy, but interesting nonetheless. I mean, most of it we already read, but it's cool to get it all in one sitting.
Interesting. I'll look
Okay,
it up.
another research item, Carnival Mask. This is one of the original wooden masks used at the inaugural carnival celebration of 970 AD. The carnival, as well as the adjoining Week of Peace, were instated to celebrate the enduring peace and prosperity of the kingdom after the calamity never nearly destroyed it. The grand celebration would occur every 33 years. In the following centuries, the original meaning would be forgotten, even as the tradition became deeply ingrained in cultural heritage. Original masks like this have been highly prized artifacts of Hadean tradition, especially after the celebrations were outlawed by Garion Yankel in the early 80s. It's interesting that the Carnival of Peace coincides with the 33-year time loop openage. I actually have a confession, you guys. My audio, I'm recording this afterwards. My audio didn't record. I don't know what was going on with this episode. I've had some issues with the recording, but hopefully it'll be fixed in the next episode. So now we're going back to Jeljin. There's a couple things I wanted to do here. We had the ashes for this priest or pastor or religious man.
You've brought my father's ashes. Huh. You are a saint. I do hope you haven't inconvenienced yourself for this. I feel relieved to have the ashes here with me. It gives me some solace with which to face the chaos upon us. I prepared a niche at the southern mausoleum for the urn, my father's final resting place. It will have to wait for now. The demons swarm along the grounds.
Gave us the key and the ashes so that we could put the ashes in the mausoleum. So then I wanted to go into the Vault of Forbidden Knowledge. And we found a couple more documents as well as a few other things. An ancient parchment expressing disbelief at a confusing disappearance. I am returned to my chambers alone, quill in hand. These words I set to parchment, yet even as I write, I scarcely believe them. The candle before me gutters, its light dim as my hope. For what has come to pass is beyond reason's grasp. It is gone, vanished. The enemy's shroud, grander than any citadel, vaster than any fortress wrought by mortal hands, has vanished into the void. I laugh as I inscribe these words, though there is no mirth in me. For how may such a thing be true? How might a construct of stone and steel, greater than kings have ever dared dream, simply be missing? Worse still, our instruments speak of an unfathomable horror. Baram's limbic tone disincipators measure the sphere's propagation still. They mark its growth, its endless unfurling. How may this be when the shroud is no more? How may this be when our hands grasp at naught but empty air where it once stood? Yesterday Haz did utter the most cursed words my ears have ever suffered to hear. I have not spoken to him since. He dares believe that the sphere itself had devoured the shroud whole. Madness. He must put down his mead, that one. And yet, even as I scorn his words, a shadow coils within my mind. What if he is right? Drac. So we have Tome, the Ascendance of Hellion Lodges, and the Birth of Limbic Aesthetics. Part 2. The Hellion vanguards were venerated by other soldiers, their presence a harbinger of hope for the troops and ruin upon the limbic abyss. Among the common folk, they were named the Hammers of Setherus. They grew beyond war bands. Their armor bore grim adornments reflecting the entities they fought. Their banners billowed with sigils and motifs, testaments to their slain foes. Their mere presence echoed the monstrosities they fought. They had forged more than strategy. They had forged identity. Between the second and third invasion, the Hellions ceased to be mere warriors. They became orders. Bound by code and ritual, they formed lodges, knightly brotherhoods. Their traditions bore the mark of their eternal adversaries, for they knew that to unmake the darkness, one must first understand its depths. Thus, the Hellion Lodges were born. The Lodge of Grief, a brotherhood draped in the solemn hues of mourning. They move as phantoms upon the battlefield, silent as the grave. The Lodge of Ecstasy, frenzied and relentless, their blades sing through the air like revelry of death, adorned in dazzling hues of yellow. The Lodge of Terror, cloaked in nightmarish emeralds, their mere presence saps the will of any bystander. The Lodge of Rage, raving berserkers, their armor spiked and their weapons massive, embodying wrath itself, painted in the same burning red as their destined foes. The Lodge of Admiration, devout and unswerving, the reverence for their cause shines in verdant gilded sigil, their holy conviction as sharp as their spear. The Lodge of Loathing, known to never sleep, as such is their disgust for their foes. Some fight with blindfolds made of purple silk, as to not see what they disdain so forcefully. The Lodge of Vigilance, armored in colors of orange, they are scholars and tacticians. Their strategies immaculate, knowledge and patience is their shield. The Lodge of Amazement, explorers of limbic knowledge. Their banners bear seals of the unfathomable, rendered in vivid cyan, always astonished and impatient to duel their assigned horrors. Okay, one more. Tome the Silent Safeguard. A page from a dusty tome speaking of a secret safeguard set in place. We, the 8 pupils of the eye, bear the solemn weight of our station. Honored are we, yet bound in equal measure, custodians of the burden, the shame, and the true purpose of the Order of the Eye. And we know, beyond doubt or illusion, the peril does ever lurk in the shadows, not only from the foes who gather beyond the walls, but from the graver specter of treachery within. Thus we have chosen our course. In secrecy, we have approached 8 esteemed generals of the full guard, each chosen blindly, that no bias nor design might sway our hand. To them, we have entrusted a task most dire, to create in silence a failsafe, a shield unseen, a ward against a catastrophe should one of our own seek to unmake what we have built and ensnare the eye. The work shall remain veiled, even from us, for knowledge of such a safeguard is itself a danger. Never shall they speak of what they weave. Never shall their lips betray the measures they set in place. They shall carry their burden to the grave, leaving behind only whispers in their blood of their kin, that their descendants may stand watch, that the eye may endure. Should darkness ever rise from within. Belgren the 19th, Drac the 19th, Gabrin the 15th, Jish the 16th, Zargab the 14th, Kez the 18th, Haz the 17th, Oram 13th. Okay. There's a failsafe in place. Very interesting.
Bless you. You have done more for me than I can ever repay. May Setherus gaze upon you. Always.
All right, guys, thank you for putting up with the little issues that I've had there, here and there in this episode. I appreciate you guys so much for sticking around to this point. If you did enjoy this video, of course, make sure to give it a like. Greatly appreciate that. And of course, if you are new here, make sure to subscribe. That way you miss an upcoming video and helping me unravel the mysteries of Hell Is Us. That's going to do it for today. Thank you again so much for watching. I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon. Bye.